Welcome back to the series Studying Greek Modes using Python, and today we're going to start configuring our Google Colab environment to run our code, and also we'll take a look at some of the libraries we are going to use, specifically the Music21 library. So first things first, if you're not familiar with Google Colab, I'm going to point you to this playlist, Introduction to Google Colab for Research, and especially the first 3 tutorials. One talks about the overview of Google Colab, then we'll talk about text cells, and later we'll talk about code cells. So these first 3 will get you going with Google Colab, and all the others, they're more advanced topics. They're very interesting, but then you need to see if you need them. For our specific tutorial now, we will just need these first 3 tutorials here. So here, for example, we have a text cell. We can also include some HTML code, pictures, things like this. And then we have a code cell, but this I will explain in more detail in that playlist, in those tutorials there. Next, we need to install certain things. So Google Colab comes pre-installed with a lot of things, so it's quite fast to load. We don't need to do a lot of setup, but some of the libraries or software we are going to use, they are not installed by default, and one example is the Musescore. So Musescore is a software for musical notation, and Music21, which is a library for computer-aided musicology, that uses this Musescore software to display notes. I also cover the Musescore, just a quick overview what it is and how to install it, in this other playlist, the Ear Training Application in Python tutorial. So in this tutorial, I teach you how to build your own ear training application that you can practice intervals, chords. And here we have this tutorial, which is installing Musescore and libraries. For our modes tutorial, we will not be using Fluid Synth, but it's also very handy to know what it is and how to install it. So I recommend that you check installing Musescore, because this is what we are doing here. Basically, we add a repository, we update, and then we install Musescore, and it's going to install in our Colab environment. Next, I'm going to import some Python libraries. We are going to use, for now, Music21, NumPy, and DAC from collections. So if you're not familiar on how to install libraries, what are libraries, what are Python modules, I recommend you to check this playlist, Python for Beginners, Basics of Digital Audio Processing and Machine Learning for Audio. And here we have this tutorial 4C that talks about Python modules, packages, and imports. So there are many different ways how we can import a library. So for example, here from Music21, we're importing everything, or we can import NumPy and give it an alias. So we import NumPy as NP, and then every time you put NP dot, and then it will come some functions from this NumPy library. Or from collections, we are importing just this DAC function, for example. But I explain in more detail here in the 4C Python modules, packages, and imports. So now, after we installed Musescore and we imported our libraries, we can start moving into the study of Greek modes using Python. But that's for next tutorial. See you later.